Dustino!
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are live from the Fantasy Garage. It's me, Dustino. We got a great Black Friday game we just got done. Special guest Jay Joseph will be joining us momentarily. We have got a show for you tonight, folks, as we get you ready. Welcome in to the weekend update, Thanksgiving, Black Friday edition. Special guest Jay Joseph will be joining us soon. Let's all say a little prayer. Hang in there, for my internet has been acting extremely funky today. So please hang in there. It's like we had a couple of shows ago. I don't know. Might be time for a little upgrade to the Dustino's internet connection. But welcome in. We are live from the Fantasy Garage. Just got done watching Georgia and Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech had a last-second Hail Mary attempt at the end. Was unsuccessful, but they took Georgia to the brink of that ball game. They wound up winning 16-9. Georgia wins that ball game. All right, so we're going to get to the Black Friday game shortly, but let's get a quick recap of our Thursday game. As you can see on the bottom of the screen, scrolling across, we have a lot of injury updates. That's the whole point of weekend update. Get you ready, one-stop shop, get you ready for Sunday. Obviously, some things can change, but a lot of these teams put in their final injury designations or give you a lot of insight on what's going to happen over the weekend, who's going to play, who's not going to play, all those great things. So let's recap Thanksgiving. Kind of a wild Thanksgiving day. Hope you and your family had a great Thanksgiving. I know I did. I ate way too much. I ate at 3 o'clock at night, 3:30 in the afternoon, 3:30, somewhere in that neighborhood. And I'll tell you what, I don't eat breakfast typically. I do that intermittent fasting or whatever you want to call it. Just try to avoid breakfast. Don't eat till lunch. And me and my guys at work, typically 11 in the morning, we're ready and we're starving at that point. I ate at 11:15. I had a salad, believe it or not. No, it's hard to believe. But I could have gone without eating. I probably could have. And that was from almost 20 hours prior, right? Or 19 and a half hours prior. I ate so much. Oh my God, the food was so good. Turkey, sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, the cranberry sauce, homemade, although I do like the jar. But the homemade was good. My wife did a great job. I didn't even have dessert. We had mac and cheese and, bread, rolls. Oh my God, it was unbelievable. I like the dark meat. I like dark meat with my turkey. I don't know what you like. Let us know in the chat if you had a good Thanksgiving, maybe what your favorite stuff is on there. But as you can see across the bottom line, you got a lot of updates on injuries. Not everybody, but a bit. So you can kind of take a look and set your fantasy lineups if you so choose. All right, on to the games. We had 3 underdogs all win outright. I just got done checking all of our numbers. We went 7-7. I thought it was terrible. I'll be honest. When I was going to bed last night, I said, "Holy crow!" I took a beating. I thought we got smoked, but we didn't really. And a couple of our things, and now that includes the Friday game, right? Because on the yesterday morning, seems like it was like 2 days ago, but yesterday morning show, we gave you our Black Friday plays for today, which did well, 2-1. We ended up 7-7, but we had some things, once again, when you take these props and you take them on the alternate line and we're getting plus money, it probably was a good day. At worst, you broke even and you might have even won a little. And now the other thing that you might have done is, if you remember, I was pounding the table on my favorite play of the day, which was Chase Brown over 3.5 catches. And by God, did he have that in the first half. And he ended up with 7 catches. And what's crazy is, first of all, it was plus 110. What's crazy is we also took him over 39.5 receiving yards. And how does he not get to 40? How does he not get to 40 receiving yards when he caught 7 passes? That's really hard to do. That's almost like catching and falling down immediately. So we lost that one. So we'll recap real quick. Green Bay and the Lions, fun game. Amon-Ra St. Brown goes out early. So one of our plays was Jamison Williams over 14.5 receiving yards in the first quarter. He got 2 targets. Oh, my goodness. Him and Goff just couldn't connect. And we lose Amon-Ra. I mean, that's like dream scenario for that bet. Didn't hit. Now, we did have JMO over 64.5, alternate line. Again, plus 140. That hit, obviously, thanks to the help of Amon-Ra going down. Update on Amon-Ra. a low ankle sprain. They don't expect him to miss any time, although they're coming back. It's not a short week because they played Thursday, but they got a big game against Dallas. If I know Amon-Ra St. Brown, from what we've seen in his history, he's going to do everything he can to suit up, right? He is a tough son of a gun. The whole Lions team is a bunch of tough guys, obviously centered around Dan Campbell. So I fully expect Amon-Ra, if it's a low ankle sprain, to tape it up, get his butt back out there, is my guess. But, obviously be aware of the situation. That's a big Thursday game. A lot of times these Thursday games are sort of duds. This is an important one. Huge game in the NFC playoffs coming up. Lions, I think, are hosting the Cowboys. I'll double check on that. I'm pretty sure they're hosting. But that's a huge, huge ball game, folks, for the playoffs and fantasy. A lot of fantasy golden players in that ball game. So make sure you pay attention to what's going on with Amon-Ra. What else do we have? We had under 24.5 first half. Lions Packers was looking good early. Was looking good. In fact, somebody went for fourth down and didn't get it. No score. I said, we are in good shape. And then the second quarter, they went nuts and ended up 17-14 at the half. So that knocked me out 31 points. We lost that one. We also lost our two-team teaser. We teased the Packers up to +9, which was fantastic. Lost the Ravens -1. I did not see that one coming. If you'd have told me that the Packers and the Cowboys won their games, sure, I could see it. I could paint a picture. I see a scenario. Really didn't see. I know Burrow was back, but really didn't see a scenario in which I saw Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, especially with their defense, just really stepping up and keeping the Ravens at check. Something is not right with Lamar. Something's not right with that offense. Their defense has been playing better. I mean, think about how ugly that could have got if they would have held all those field goals would have been touchdowns, or some of them. McPherson, kicker. I know you shouldn't be in a league with the kickers anymore. I've been a big advocate of getting rid of kicker in your leagues. I mean, it's amazing. I'm in one league. It's a bunch of older guys, older than me. I know it's hard to believe, but these guys still have kicker. Wish I had Evan McPherson in there. 6 field goals. So could you imagine what the score of the Bengals game would have been had some of those field goals turned to touchdowns? Could have got real ugly real fast. All right, so that's the Lions and the Packers game. Chiefs and Cowboys, I had the under. Didn't hit. Under first half, did not hit. Under for the game, did not hit. Now we did hit our 2 props in that game. Mahomes over 22.5 rushing yards. He ended up with 30+. And then we had Xavier Worthy over 49.5. Here we go. +150. That's almost like 1.5 times wins. So that's where these things keep you afloat when it's +150, right? You stay afloat because now, let's say you had $20 on something, you win 30, right? And you can withstand a couple other losses when you hit that. Worthy got that fairly late in the game. It was kind of a rollout, kind of broken play, which is what we called for, and then hit Worthy. But overall, Xavier Worthy's been a huge disappointment. That's a big swing and a miss by Dustino. I really liked Worthy. I thought he was more than just a deep threat guy. There's every fast guy that comes into the NFL gets dubbed the next Tyreek Hill, right? Or, it's basically Tyreek. Oh, this is the next. And especially when you go to the Chiefs, right? Now it's, Mahomes has his guy. He's got his Tyreek Hill. And, guys have flamed out, right? Sky Moore. You name it. Anytime they bring somebody to the Chiefs, it's going to be the guy. And it's just not. Something's not right with Mahomes. He's putting up numbers, but they still just don't look right. They've gotten old quick. His accuracy down the field is so bad. His throwing on the run is really bad. And if you remember a couple weeks ago, we had a Richie Yamaguchi on here, our dynasty expert, and he said he didn't like, not that he didn't like, but he was a little worried about Mahomes' body over the long haul. Said, he's a physical therapist. Said he's very extended. He thinks he's going to have knee problems. He doesn't think, or he's worried that he's not going to be one of these guys that ages tremendously into their late 30s. And even now we see these quarterbacks going to their 40s. He's a little wary of Mahomes being able to do that. But Mahomes, again, put up numbers, right? And in fantasy, that's all we care about, right? We care about numbers. I have Mahomes in a number of leagues. I thought he was just a great value in some of these dynasty startup drafts that I did. I did 4 or 5 dynasty startups this offseason, and I grabbed Mahomes, I think, in 3 or 4 of them, right? And the whole reason was a little devalued, right? He's coming off a couple rough seasons, and he's a little devalued. And I apologize if I look at my phone. My internet's been acting hooky. So I'm trying to stick to using my phone when I've got to go surfing the web to sort of find stats. Where the heck is Mahomes? I know I have Mahomes on these teams. Let me see. What did Mahomes do? Either way, Mahomes is having a great year. So Mahomes is having a great year. He is quarterback. I know he was top 5 for a long time. Let's see, fantasy wise, Mahomes. He is quarterback number 1. Now, little caveat, that's because he's got an extra game under his belt. And a lot of guys didn't play. So he's got an extra game under his belt because obviously he played on Thursday. But still, I mean, QB6, solid game, 258 touchdown, 57 rushing yards. Or sorry, wrong game. 37 points in fantasy. Ran for 30 yards, threw for 4 touchdowns. So Mahomes is putting up the numbers, man. He's killing it. All right, on to the night game. Bengals and the Ravens. Didn't see that one coming. We already talked about it briefly. We had Chase Brown over 3.5 catches, which I banged the table as my favorite play of the entire Thanksgiving slate. We also had him over 39.5 receiving yards. Like I said, you catch 7 balls. You got to work hard to not get 40 yards. That's incredible. I think he was 7 for 35 or 7 for 33. Unbelievable that we didn't get to that number. So we were bummed out about that one. And then we did hit the under 52.5. Again, thanks to the Bengals stalling out many times in the red zone and many times in scoring zone and having to settle for a bunch of field goals. But big game from the Bengals. You like to see it. It's just amazing that, that's the true sign of a superstar in Jamar Chase, right? Everybody in the world knows he's looking for Jamar Chase. And the guy still ends up with 7 catches for 100+ yards. Absolutely incredible. The Burrow to Chase connection is going to end up, if you stashed him and you held on for long enough with Burrow, they could end up winning you some leagues. I know Double J, our guest that's going to be joining us shortly, he talked about stashing Burrow in a redraft league when he was out and everybody thought he might miss the season. But they never really said he was going to miss the season. And I think Burrow still wants to prove to people that he's not this injury-prone guy, even though, you can see it. It's well documented. Plenty of injuries over the last few years, but he wants to prove and he is a tough guy. I'm not saying he's not. And that's where it's real tricky, right? Is it just bad luck? Is he really an injury-prone or brittle guy? I think it's a little combination maybe of both. You see the same thing that was said about Saquon Barkley for many years. Is he injury-prone? Is it just bad luck? So with that being said, we are going to be bringing in our guest in just a moment here. We got our high noon going. Ready for a great show. Again, if you're stopping by the channel, make sure you like and subscribe. Get in the comment section. We love to have you be part of the show. We had some great dynasty questions last week. We had some great trade questions. Now, if you're in a redraft league, your trade deadline may or may not be coming up. But if we're in fantasy here, what do we got? 2 weeks left, right? It's this week. What's left of it. We've already had 4 games played. And then we got next week, and then your playoffs start. Weeks 15, 16, 17. You better not be doing playoffs week 16, 17, 18, okay? Week 18, a lot of things are going to be settled. A lot of people are going to be sitting. So please tell me that your league, first of all, get rid of kicker. But second of all, make sure you're 15, 16, 17 playoffs. And then that brings us to a huge game. And this guy's got to be on cloud 9 right now. UConn Huskies, our UConn Huskies. Jay and I grew up pretty close to each other in Connecticut. Both huge UConn Huskies fans. Huge win over Illinois today, beating a ranked team. Bouncing back after the loss to Arizona in college hoops. But more importantly, his Chicago Bears with a huge victory. Double J. Tell me about your Bears over the Eagles.
Oh, man. What a day, buddy. What a day. Like you said, we got the defending 2-time back-to-back champs a couple of years ago. Huge win. Huge win. Dominating performance. And then the Bears, absolute statement game, going into Philadelphia, running all over them. Fans leaving early third quarter, booing them out of the building. I love it.
It's a beautiful thing.
Love it. Yep, that was a statement. Like I said going into the game today, I'm like, they lose by a couple, close game. I'll live. Don't get blown out. Go in, play a good game, and boy, they exceeded expectations. Honestly, that defense was huge. Run game was huge. Passing game, yeah, you want to see a little more. But man, that's as good as you can get right there.
Yeah, I think for me, who's obviously a Giants fan, so hey, no love lost seeing the Eagles lose. But what I thought was wild was how you guys pushed them around on the offensive line. I mean, gaping holes and running hard.
Mhm.
And I'll tell you, man, that was to me the real big shocker, especially since you guys were last year. Your offensive line was considered one of the worst in the NFL. Talk about that change and maybe the mindset of Ben Johnson. I thought he called a brilliant game. Uh,
Yeah. Yes.
calling things when needed, and just fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, abysmal. Like you said, the offensive line was absolutely abysmal last year. Just terrible. Couldn't stop anybody. No push. Running backs did nothing. Even the first few weeks, I think we talked earlier this season on here, and you were asking about Swift and Monangai, and I was like, I'm not sold. I don't see a burst. I don't see a push. And then everybody says you get these big new parts on offensive line. So you go get Jackson, you get Dahlman, and you get Tooney. You draft a left tackle. So you have four new starters now, right now, on that offensive line. It takes a few weeks, but man, they get that push and they are just manhandling teams up front. The running game, I mean, as you saw, you'll put up almost 300 yards against the NFL defense is they look like the Nebraska Cornhuskers in 1995 out there today.
Yeah, Tommy
Um,
Frazier at the helm.
the pass defense was good. You knew Fangio was going to dial up some blitzes, and see if he could rattle Caleb. He got to him a couple times, but so a little bit opportunity with some pass protection, but the run blocking is just insane. And that's Ben Johnson saying we're going to run first. We're going to set up everything off the run. I got a little frustrated. You say great play calling. I got a little frustrated in the third quarter. You can't get stopped. I mean, they're getting 8, 7, 8, 9 yards a carry. We're throwing on 3rd and 1, 2nd and 1. What are we doing? Keep the clock moving, grind it out, make them stop you once. But otherwise, yeah, great game plan. Um, Caleb, a couple opportunities, a couple better throws. It looked like it might have been a little slippery there. DJ Moore took a couple slips, and Luther Burden fell on a couple key plays, but otherwise, I've not much to complain about tonight. I'm a happy Bears fan at 9-3.
Yeah, that rollout throw to Komet was special, and Caleb does a couple
Special.
of things every game that you just go, wow. He's one of only a handful of guys in the league that can make that throw. Obviously, it was really windy, and it was tough conditions there for sure. You would have liked to seen a little bit more. You're seeing Luther Burden, who we've talked about a few
Luther.
times on here, starting to emerge a little bit. Probably not really on your fantasy radar for this year, but us dynasty players. I
Yes,
mean, Luther
Dynasty.
Burden is somebody to get. Um,
Keeper, keeper, like we were playing a couple auction league keepers where you get them for like $1. I mean, you can't, that's an option, a
yeah,
deep round where you lose the pick. You probably picked them up 17, 18 rounds in, or, might have been a free agent. So, yeah, absolutely a stash for next year. He could easily be their number one next year.
yeah.
Rome's been quiet. You're starting to see some flaws in Rome's game. And
hmm
Luther runs every route, catches a lot of tough balls. Yeah, I like Luther. We've talked about that a lot.
Yeah, and so what do you? First of all, I was also going to praise Caleb Williams too, as far as you got to win these ugly cold games, right, in the playoffs. And
Mhm.
listen, he's a California kid. He obviously got drafted to the Bears, so he better learn how to play in this wind and play an ugly game and just make enough plays. You don't have to throw for 300, whatever, and 3 touchdowns every game. You get these nasty weather games, you got to make those key plays. I thought a key play too was a 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 late. I can't remember exactly what drive where they fake the handoff and he rolls out
And
and he goes for
yes,
3, 4 yards just to get.
yes,
He's just mobile enough to get those yardages. And I thought that was a brilliant play call because
yep.
everybody was going to Monangai. And then he rolled out and got that yardage. Tell me what you think, because I talked about this a little bit. I can't remember if it was Thursday morning or if it was last week with Richie Yamaguchi on. I think it was last week. DJ Moore, I know that he's been more of a good soldier this year. Last year, he
Mhm.
was, kind of a squeaky wheel, complaining a little bit. Some people questioning his effort. Do you think he's going to stick around next year, or do you think he's a trade candidate? Although obviously we know winning cures everything. But what's your
Yeah,
thoughts on DJ Moore long term?
I mean, he can't just leave, right? So it would have to be the right deal for the
Right.
Bears to make the move. He's in for 2 more years. They're paying him well. I don't want to see him leave. I mean, he last year he was a headache. He was squeaky. You could see him giving up on the root tree. He would just I think in the Arizona game I saw him walk off the field mid play. You don't want to see that. But this year he's been out there. He's a great blocker, which nobody talks about. They use him as kind of the jackknife. He's in the backfield. He catches those little passes out of the backfield. He runs the ball a lot. Would I be devastated if they traded him? No. I mean, it depends what you get. I mean, you got to listen to anybody. As good as the defense played this year today, there's not much of a pass rush there. Can you use that? Can you use DJ Moore to go get another edge rusher? Do it. Especially with Luther emerging and Komet and Loveland now starting to look like the real deal at tight end. Yeah, is he expendable? Yeah, it's a luxury of riches right now. I've never seen with the Bears with 3 or 4 good receivers and 2 tight ends and 2 running backs. This
Nice
doesn't
problem
happen
to
in
have.
Chicago. Yeah, it's a nice problem to have. Should they deal him if the deal is right? You're not giving him away for a 4. Maybe you get a 2 for him. I'd consider that for sure.
Yeah, and there's going to be plenty of it's not a great free agent wide receiver class. There's going to be a lot of people looking for a receiver. And it just a big win for the Bears, especially with their upcoming schedule, right? Two of the next 3 weeks against the Packers. That's really going to probably decide the division. You get the Browns at home, but you never know. It's football.
Lions
and then you got
at home.
49ers and the Lions again. So
that's a brutal stretch. I said going in this morning, I got up this morning, I said, you got to win at least 2 of the next 6. Well, now you got 1. So now you win 1 more, 2 more. 2 more gets you in. I'm pretty sure. At 11 wins, you're probably in, no problem. So you get 2 more and you are in. So a big turnaround. Ben Johnson. There hasn't been a lot of Coach of the Year talk for Ben Johnson, but my God, I mean, he's got to be
on
right
the
up
radar
there.
now.
He's got to be on the radar now. 9-3. As I was skeptical, this is legit. I think they're there. But
and the NFC is a gauntlet. The NFC is loaded right now.
Loaded.
So you lose 2 games in a row and you're going to get lapped. Right now, I mean, at 8-4, the 49ers are the last wild card team. And just think about this. The Lions wouldn't be in the playoffs if they started right now. How crazy is that?
Lions and the Chiefs out. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Insane.
Who would have seen it? Yeah, I got a crazy Caleb stat for you here.
All right,
an NFL stat, okay? So going into today, there were 7 games. This is now after today, 8 games that Caleb Williams completed under 60% of his throws. The Bears are 8-0 in those games. That's That's ridiculous. The rest of the league, okay, 26-58, a 310 winning percentage in the same situation. So flukish, a little flukish, a little scary. I mean, that's where you say, are they legit? That's where the questions are. Are they legit? When you look at that, you'd say no, but they keep doing it. So who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, I boil it down to coaching, and that just goes to show the run game. And listen, I play in a lot of dynasty, and people are very, DeAndre Swift, I love DeAndre Swift when he came in the league, and a lot of people were really, really high. And I mean, a lot of people are sort of disappointed he hasn't become a superstar. But I'll tell you what, he's pretty solid. He gets a lot of hate. He ran some tough yards. And when he came into the league, he was kind of known, not a scat back, but more of a speedster, like get on
Pitch
the edge.
Outside.
He ran real hard, and that Manon guy runs hard. So that just goes to speak to, winning those tough games, winning those games when Caleb isn't throwing well, and the big plays. Caleb's he can hit some of those big plays that can make up for the fact that he's not hitting every little short throw. I still would like to see him get a little more touch on those 7-8 yard passes, but certainly I got to tip my cap to him. I got to tip my cap to him. He's played well.
He hits the home run. He hits the knockout. I'll take it.
Yep.
I agree. The 7-yard outs are frustrating, but the home runs and the dagger blows are huge.
Absolutely.
But,
all right.
Yeah.
So we're going to get to the Sunday games, right? Obviously, we've already had 4 games played, so a little bit smaller slate. We'll try to get Jay out of here at a reasonable time. I say that every time. Actually, I was pretty good yesterday morning on my show. It was only 1 hour and 20. For me, that's pretty good. Again, if you're on the show, if you're in the chat watching, please make sure you don't hesitate. Ask questions. Let us know where you're at. Let us know who your teams is. Do you think the Bears are for real? Do you think they're not for real? Who's your favorite to win the NFC, the AFC, what have you? All right, first game. Let's get this one out of the way. Falcons and the Jets. Woo, stinker. Yeah. But the Falcons coming off a win. That was one of our best bets. They beat the Saints last week. Now here they are. They flipped to now being a 2.5-point favorite. Jets coming off a bye? No. Played Ravens, right?
Yeah.
Was it Ravens? Ravens lost by 13. Never mind. They are not coming off a bye. They probably wish they were going to a bye. Falcons. Drake London has been ruled out. We finally hit Darnell Mooney. We finally hit Darnell Mooney. It was a Festivus miracle, a Thanksgiving miracle.
Let
We
it
got
ride.
Darnell Mooney to 50 yards. But obviously, Mooney's he's a guy you can play in your wide receiver 3 or flex spot. Other than that, you've got Pitts, who kind of is the Pitts. Man, that guy is another one.
Yeah, he's the Pitts.
He just can't do. That's a guy that just needs a change of scenery. They got to just cut bait and see. Maybe he gets somewhere. Whatever it is, the scheme in Atlanta does not work ever since his rookie year. Bijan, obviously, you're firing up. Even though he's been disappointing, I'm a huge Bijan guy. He's doing fine, but he's not having those big, giant games. I think he had an okay game, decent amount of volume against the Saints, but he's not having those huge bonkers, 3 touchdown games that you hope from him. Kirk Cousins was okay, but I think he's cooked, man.
He's cooked. He's cooked. Yeah, he's
I watch him throwing the ball, and the thing is just floating in the air. I think he threw another interception or 2 that was pretty ugly. He got that touchdown to Mooney pretty late in the game. I mean, if you're the Falcons, what are you doing? Penix, the problem with Penix injury, it came late in the year. He's probably not going to play next year.
Right.
I mean, you're not going to spend draft capital, and I don't even know what their draft situation is. I don't know what they have for picks, but I mean, are they going to try to find somebody else to be the bridge quarterback?
They gave the Rams their pick, I believe. The Rams had the Falcons pick for Penix. So the Rams, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, I guess. Yeah, I don't know what you do if you're the Falcons.
It's going to be very
you look for a stopgap, a Daniel Jones, somebody like that might just be kicking around and hope you hit lightning in a bottle like the Colts did.
Yeah, maybe a Mac Jones, but he's going to, the 49ers are not going to just give him away.
Right. He might stay.
Maybe
Brock Purdy might be available. Yeah, Kyler Murray.
I could see Kyler Murray. There's a lot of places I can't see him in. That's a place I could see being
indoors,
on the radar.
Yeah.
Because I think we've talked about this a few times. I think the Cardinals want him gone. I think they don't want anything to do with him. They want to move on from Kyler. I could see him hoping they catch lightning in a bottle down in Atlanta. Fast track. Not huge media scrutiny down in Atlanta for NFL.
Right.
I could definitely see that. Jets side of the ball, you got a little better with Tyrod Taylor, and that's what we talked about. We said, hey, is Tyrod Taylor going to be sort of like Jacoby Brissett's been, right? Where, okay, yes, we know that he's not the long-term answer. We know he's not a top-notch quarterback, but he can at least do a little bit. And certainly Justin Fields has not been providing anything for the receiving options. You had Breece Hall catch 4 balls for 75. John Mechie, interesting name. 6 for 65 and a touchdown. Really, Breece Hall's the only guy you really feel like playing for the Jets, even though the Falcons are a somewhat soft defense. Any thoughts on the Jets? Anything with these guys? You got to be desperate, right? Especially because
you're desperate.
This is a week with no bye weeks, right? So you shouldn't be. Right. Hopefully, you're not that desperate.
Right, unless you're wrecked with injuries, you're avoiding the Jets like the plague.
Yeah. Even that tight end we talked about, Mason Taylor, 3 for 21.
Dart throws.
Yeah, there's nothing.
They're lottery tickets. You might hit. I can see the Jets actually pulling this out. Weather might be questionable up here this weekend.
Yeah, what's going on up in the Northeast?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like rain Sunday. I don't know how it's pushing in. It could be snow, but it sounds like more late, at least in Connecticut. So maybe a little bit of that wind and rain, but this game.
And listen, I'll give the Jets credit. They're playing hard.
They're playing hard.
They're playing hard. They know, and this is where it's like nice when you get that vote of confidence from the owner. Listen, Woody Johnson's a hot mess, but the fact that he did say Aaron Glenn is coming back, all these guys, they're not packing it in. They're playing for their next contract. They're playing to stay on the team next year. They're at least playing hard. And I mean, the Ravens had to squeak that 13-point win out. I mean, that was no easy 13-point win. The Jets were in that ball game the whole time, so they're playing hard. You got to give the Jets credit. They have not packed it in once they made those trades. They're still fighting, and this I can see this game going either way. If it's nasty weather, I could see Kirk Cousins having a terrible game.
Yeah, I can see the Jets pulling this one out, but we'll see.
No official play as of now.
No.
Yeah, under. I mean, there's nobody that even I think like, let me play this guy's over rush yards or pat receiving yards. There's nothing I see here. I want to avoid that game like the plague if I have to. I've got Breece Hall on a couple teams. I got to play him. And I've got Bijan, obviously, a lot of teams you're playing. All right, next game. Cardinals at the Buccaneers down here in Tampa. Going to be a beautiful day on Sunday. We had a chilly day today, but beautiful day on Sunday. Baker Mayfield, we'll start with the Bucs, is expected to play. I told you that yesterday on my show in the morning. I'm not comparing myself to Baker Mayfield, but I sprained an AC joint at one point, and it's more of a pain management type of thing. And I'll tell you what, they stuck that cortisone shot in there, and I felt like $1 million. And that's just me here. Obviously, he has access to the greatest medicine or doctors, whatever. Money is no object with Baker Mayfield. Looks like he's going to play. Bucky Irving is coming back, so maybe a little boost to the Bucs offense. He's been out for a while. Everybody else, Buka's playing. Chris Godwin's questionable again. He's in trouble. It's really Ibuka who you want to play. Cardinals giving up a lot of pass yards. Cade Otton's a good play, the tight end. Tez Johnson, if you need it, he's looked pretty good.
Yeah, he's shown flashes for sure.
He's shown some flashes for a little guy, right?
Yeah,
he looks the part.
Yep.
Mike Evans still a little bit away. This is kind of a low-key big game for the Bucs. Bucs are 6-5. Panthers are 6-6. And they play each other twice the rest of the way. So those two matchups are going to basically determine. Yeah, those are going to determine the division. Cardinals side of the ball, obviously Jacoby Brissett's still quarterback. Zonovan Knight questionable. It's going to be no Trey Benson. So it's going to be Zonovan Knight and Michael Carter at running back. I think Michael Carter had a decent game last week.
He did. He had a decent. I think he did.
I had to play him in a couple deep leagues. The big key is this Michael Wilson. Holy mackerel. This guy's been out of nowhere. And obviously in redraft leagues, people don't have him on the radar. In dynasty leagues, the big question is, do you cash in and sell him now that he's had these two big games? Or do you think this has a chance to be legit? What are your thoughts there?
Oof.
Is it more just a product of Marvin Harrison being out?
Yeah, Yeah, right. And sometimes it's quarterback dependent. I mean, look up the street in Florida. I mean, Brian Thomas Jr. last year, you wouldn't have given away in a dynasty league for anything. With Mac Jones, Trevor Lawrence comes back, and now you'd give him away for a football. So, you just don't know. I mean, Brissett seems to love him. Marvin Harrison out. Gun to my head, I'd probably sell him. If I had to make a move.
I couldn't agree more.
I'd see what I could get. Give me, you're giving me something legit for him. Absolutely sell him. If you're not in contention, you don't. Absolutely. But
we've had 2.5 years of data showing that, he's kind of just a guy. And I think it's just situation has been perfect. And Brissett's been looking for him. And it's, with no Marv there. Marv is supposed to be back. He's still questionable, but he could be back. I agree.
Have to throw a lot.
Michael Wilson, I'm taking a second-round rookie pick for him.
Absolutely.
Or a third-round rookie pick for him, or a pair of thirds or whatever. And a lot of it depends on your team. One of the things I know, I'm going to get you in a dynasty league.
Eventually, it's coming.
You have to make those decisions. Am I going for it or am I not? And if you're, a non-playoff team and you got them, you're selling them. You're trying to get, because I just don't see anything long-term.
Yeah, you're not winning, right? It's like the NFL version of, do you feel comfortable with Darnold and Daniel Jones, or
Correct.
If you want to just make a playoff push, okay. But if you want to go for it, he's not the guy.
Yep, 100%. Obviously, Trey McBride is the guy, right? He's the guy. He's unbelievable. I mean, him and Brock Bowers, more so him, because Bowers had some disappointing games, but McBride is just absolutely killing it. That was one of our pushes. We had Arizona +3. Brissett again. 317 yards and a touchdown, and then ran for another 20 yards. He's just been putting up numbers. McBride, 9 catches, 79 yards. Michael Wilson, 10 for 118. I don't know. I as far as spread-wise, you see anything with Bucks -3.5? I kind of like the Cardinals.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to.
If you had to, I mean, the Bucks, like you said it, the Bucks were cruising. All of a sudden, this is must-win territory for the Bucks. Does that motivate them, and that maybe puts a little fire in them coming home after a couple tough weeks? Kind of a little bit of a breather. Do they let down because it's the Cardinals, or do they say, hey, we got to hammer down here? We got some guys back. The hook is the tough part, right? I think Cardinals.
Yeah.
Cardinals close.
And Cardinals are live there. Because they seem to be playing hard too. And
They've been playing
the
hard.
game that really showed it to me with the Cardinals is, and I don't know if you remember this. I can't remember if it was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, but they played against the Seahawks, and the Seahawks came out and punched them in the mouth, and they were down. Oh my God, it was like
Yeah,
30-0. I feel like there's
Yes.
like something insane very early in the ball game, but they fought. Like they could have this game is
Yes.
completely cooked and completely over, but they kept fighting. Yeah, it was. They ended up losing. It was 44-22. But
Yeah.
I mean, they were down early. Yeah, 38-7 at the half. And they
Yeah.
just kept fighting. They don't seem like a team that's packed it in yet.
Mhm.
That's my whole thing. And the big thing with Baker, he makes a lot of plays with his legs. And does he reel that in and have to change his game because of the shoulder? Probably less apt to run. I bet you his rushing numbers are significantly down. Let's take a quick peek here. Just going to take a quick look at Baker Mayfield rushing. I bet he's usually around like that 20 to 25 yard mark. I bet you it's got to be lower than that. Has to be lower.
It's tough to say. I mean, the Rams just steamrolled them last week, so obviously nothing last week, which will hurt them a little bit. But it's gonna be interesting. You said with Bucky Irving coming back, how does that affect? Sean Tucker's been red hot for the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
How does Bucky step right back into a pretty dominant role, or do we still see some of him, some of Rashad White? Makes that running back fantasy wise, that running back room's a little dicey right now in Tampa.
Well, if you go with Vegas, Vegas has Bucky Irving over 38.5 rushing yards and Sean Tucker over 36.5. So they're
50-50.
expecting a pretty 50-50
Yeah,
split.
50-50.
Quite honestly, they don't know. This is one where they probably don't know really. Now, there is no number on Baker Mayfield right now. So they're probably waiting for the official word that he's definitely playing. I think he's going to play, like I said, on Thursday morning. So
yeah, they'll make sure he's good.
Lean Cardinals, just with the Bucks being banged up and Baker maybe having to change his game. All right, 49ers and the Browns. Browns are getting 4.5 at home. It's going to be cold. It's going to be nasty. Going to be windy in Cleveland.
It's some snow I heard in Cleveland.
And you know me, I like the 49ers. I always have. Aside from obviously my Giants. Why? I have no idea. I just like the way they play. I don't know. It's like this little, man crush on the 49ers. But, because the Giants have been so bad. I had to root for somebody in the playoffs. I kept rooting for them, Shanahan to get his Super Bowl. I like these Browns at home. And I'll give you just real quick reasons why. 49ers banged up, playing a lot of tough games. Okay. Brock Purdy, I like Purdy. But if he has a weakness, what is it? Arm strength, right? Now, I don't think he's built for the cold and wind and snow and things of that nature. And this is San Fran's first game going to this cold and wind and nasty stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The Browns are kind of built for it to a point. Now, don't know how much Shador, which we'll get to in a second, is built for that. But 4.5 on the road. And the other thing, 49ers could be looking ahead to their bye week. They are banged up. They've got the bye week they're looking ahead to. I could see a letdown. I could see this game being really close.
Agreed. I actually play it in a pick pool where you just pick straight, no points, nothing. I took Browns straight.
Wow.
For those reasons, after what I saw Monday night, Purdy did not look good against the Panthers. I mean, he gave Bryce Young every opportunity to win the game, and he just refused to try. It was awful.
So bad.
But Myles Garrett gonna set some serious records this year. That defense is legit. I like the Browns at home this week a lot.
And I could totally see a scenario where the crowd is behind Shador because they've been wanting Shador, right?
Yes.
Everybody
it's exciting.
See Dylan. Yeah, it's exciting. Everybody saw Dylan Gabriel's, limitations. Okay. Could he come in and manage a game if he had to? But he's not your future. He's not a franchise. At least Shador has that potential, making some big plays and, has that allure around him. So it's possible. On the 49ers side of the ball, I'm trying to think of injuries. It's the same story. No Ayuk, who's been out all year. He probably won't even play this year, most likely. Pretty disappointing night out of Ricky Pearsall, getting his first, crack at, being the main guy. It's Kittle. You got Juwan Jennings. He's okay. It's mainly Kittle and McCaffrey.
It's McCaffrey. McCaffrey.
And I'll tell you what, I got McCaffrey in 2 leagues this year, and nobody is more stressful to watch those games because every time he gets hit and there's any kind of pile up on him or whatever, it's just you're just praying he gets up.
Yeah,
Oh,
right,
oh.
right.
So
Don't
it's
let
like,
the people one. Yep.
it's like
Yeah.
25 times a game you're going, oh, okay, he got up. He's going back to the huddle. Or if he ever gets up and like calls for a breather, you're just like freaking out, like, oh God, no, please, oh God, because he make or breaks your season. Brown side of the ball, you love Quinshon Junkins, the rookie. Receivers, nothing to really write home about. I'm gonna watch the weather in this one. You know me, I've been playing Jerry Jeudy props because
Yep.
the guy's a knucklehead. He got that fumble. I don't know if you saw that fumble where he was
Yes, I did.
ball. But I can't willingly take any of these props right now without knowing the weather. Now, Quinshon Junkins does intrigue me as far as rush yards. If he was, I don't know, 61, 62, that 63 neighborhood, I would be interested in that. Let's see where he's at for rushing. 66 and a half. That's tricky. It's about what I thought it would be. That's a tricky one. I don't know. It's probably a good under week. I'll tell you, it's probably a good week to start looking at unders for a lot of these props with just the nasty cold weather. But Jay and I both like Browns. Let's make it an official play. So our first official play of tonight is Browns plus 4.5. Jay even says sprinkle a little bit on the money line. Worth a shot. All right, next game. Another clunker here. Another beauty. Jags and the Titans. Brian Thomas is playing, I think. You talked about Brian Thomas earlier.
I think he is.
Looks like he's playing. Parker Washington had a nice game. We've been talking him up the last few weeks. Let's see. Thomas. Obviously, you have Jacoby Myers. And these Jags, okay, everybody hates them. They're kind of ugly, but they keep finding a way to win games. Again, with Liam Cohen. Why am I not getting Brian Thomas Jr. here? Thomas Jr.
Both backs had a good game last week. Both Tootin and ETN with good games last week.
Yep. And ETN's been left for dead. I mean, at least, in the dynasty circle where I'm in all of these dynasty leagues. I mean, he's been a guy solid. Nobody's excited about ETN anymore. And
he's been solid. I mean, he's been stopped about 7 or 8 times at the 1 this year, but otherwise he's been very good this year.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he's having a good year. Trevor Lawrence,
well.
He's tough because he's such an enigma. I know you don't like Trevor Lawrence very much. He is definitely an enigma. Jacoby Myers, I believe, had a touchdown last week. So they've got, and then Bretton Strange, the tight end. So they have weapons. Even despite Travis Hunter being out for the year, they've got some weapons, and they go into Tennessee, who's playing a little better. You saw a little bit out of Cam Ward this past week. Obviously, nobody else on that team.
You're not starting anybody. No. Not in a week with no buys. There's no reason to put a Titan in your lineup. Nobody.
Yeah, Jacoby Myers was 4 for 50 and a touchdown. Just solid guy. Nothing special, but he can put solid. Yeah, Tony Pollard has been such a disappointment. Tajay Spears. The tight end, dynasty-wise, Gunnar Helm has been a little intriguing. He's, 4 or 5 catches each week. Chimere DK is the only receiver. I believe Alec Iomanner is not playing, but this team needs a whole new reset next year. I'm giving Cam Ward a pass. I'm going to give Cam Ward a pass.
Agreed.
Did listen to some people that really say a lot of the sharp money action is on the Titans, believe it or not, +6 at home. They think that the Jags just kind of play to the level of their opponent. But I don't know if I'm ready to make that an official play. And there's nobody in this game, especially with the Brian Thomas coming back, maybe muddying the waters. I would think about looking at Parker Washington stuff because I think he's an underrated kind of explosive guy. But with Thomas Jr. back, I can't really say, that he's going to be anything more than a 4 for 50 guy or whatever. Texans and the Colts. CJ Stroud returns. Tell me what you thought of that Colts Chiefs game and then the return of CJ Stroud.
Okay, that's fine.
So obviously my son is a big Chiefs guy, right? So Jacoby and I were watching the game. We had the Bears on one screen and the Chiefs on the other, and he shut the game off when the Chiefs were down. I said, the Chiefs are coming back here. And I felt really solid, and they did. Sometimes that's where that journeyman quarterback he's not beating Mahomes on the road. A little bit of shine coming off the Colts the last few weeks. You're starting to see some flaws. They're not scoring it well. Teams are loading up on Taylor. Um, Stroud back gives the Texans some juice this week against the Colts. Texans have played hard with Stroud out.
Yeah, Davis Mills
Should be
played
a good
well.
one. Yeah, should be a good one.
Big divisional game. Divisional games. Again, I gave this stat yesterday morning on this show. Now, granted, it didn't come to fruition because I like the under in the Packers-Lions game, but
Yeah, so did
a
I.
lot of times those games go under. I really, really like the under here. I think there could be some rust on Stroud. I don't know if you saw even on Twitter and just kind of everywhere. Daniel Jones has like a little hairline fracture in his leg. I mean, he's got a
I did see
fractured
that.
leg, and he's trying to play. And there was a video that surfaced of him dropping back to throw a pass in practice the other day, or today actually, and he did not look good. I mean, you could tell he was banged up, and they do not have a backup. Their backup is Riley Leonard. Anthony Richardson, did something to his eye. I believe Anthony Richardson's out for the year with that eye thing. I mean, the Colts are going to want to run the ball. They're not going to want to have Daniel Jones drop back 40 times. Stroud's going to be a little bit, cautious with him. I mean, he was out for 3 weeks with a concussion.
Yeah, right.
So they're going to be a little cautious with him as well. The Texans already are a conservative team, very conservative team. And I think the Colts go really conservative. I love this under.
Yeah, this has got a 1916, 16-13 type feel all over it. Texans defense is legit. I watched a couple Texans games recently, and they are all over the place, making plays in the backfield. Texans defense is legit.
Incredible. Yep, defense is incredible. If you're in Dynasty, right? I know. Here's the thing about Dynasty, Jay, is everyone I'm in, but all these leagues, they're super flex leagues, meaning you're basically starting two quarterbacks, or at least you're trying to start two quarterbacks. And Anthony Richardson is set on Monday. Let's see. He could be activated. He's eligible to have he had surgery to fix a fractured orbital bone on October 26th. He could be activated. I'm just saying, if you have Daniel Jones as your quarterback 2 in these leagues or whatever, or as your quarterback 1, hopefully he's not your quarterback 1. You might want to bring in that Riley Leonard. He's a rookie. I was about to say freshman. He's a rookie from out of Notre Dame who has a lot of rushing ability. So he could be a decent fantasy guy, like running wise, or Anthony Richardson. Like, the guy's got a fractured bone in his leg. It's and the Twitter docs that I see all said it's going to be just like Baker Mayfield. Can he manage the pain? How bad can he manage the pain? Or if he takes another hit, makes me very, very, very nervous. And I would start planning ahead. As far as the Texans go, Woody Marks is the only running back he can really play. He's looked pretty good. Nico Collins, obviously, you're hoping that with Stroud here they can connect and kind of rekindle their magic that they've had from a couple years ago. Dalton Schultz is an okay play. Jaden Higgins, I guess is the number 2, but they really spread the wealth. And they don't throw enough to really make it. If they were a high-powered, high-flying offense that threw a bunch and scored 30 points a game, I think Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel and Christian Kirk all are viable. But this is just not that type of offense. They want to play defense, like you said. They want to run the ball. They want to keep the low scoring. So those are all tough. On the Colts side of the ball, you love Tyler Warren, the rookie tight end, Jonathan Taylor. You're obviously playing after he got bottled up by the Chiefs. Really, Chiefs stuffed Jonathan Taylor. They really put a number on him. And then receivers, Pittman, you play. Alec Pierce, you could play. Downs, but again, just
Downs,
be a little cautious.
Yeah. Downs for a dart throw, lottery ticket if you're desperate. But
I don't like any of the props in this game. I think it's going to be, like you said, 16-13, 17-14. I like it. I'm taking this as an under. Colts, Texans, under 44.5 as an official play. We got 2. Let's keep on moving. Saints and the Dolphins. Oh, my God. Another stinker. Ooh,
a lot of bad games.
We got all the good games out on Thanksgiving.
We
got the good games out on Thanksgiving and whatever. These Sunday games, as I'm going through them now, look, pretty gnarly. Saints, Alvin Kamara is out. Devin Neal will start. If you're again,
Interesting.
yeah, he's interesting. Down the stretch, maybe he's a rookie. They might work the heck out of him. And I don't know if Kamara how much Kamara plays.
And even if he does, yeah, he hasn't done anything.
He's done nothing. So this Devin Neal is interesting. They did bring up Audric Estime off their practice squad. He was a 6th-round pick by the Broncos. He's more of a bruiser. You're hoping he gets in for a touchdown. Maybe they bring him in at the goal line. Who knows? Now, Chris Olave did pop up on the injury report with a back issue. He's been questionable the last 2 days. So please be very aware of that. Be cautious. Other than that, for the Saints, here's what I will say. And I did see some of this game. Taysom Hill got a lot of carries. He didn't do much with those carries, but he could be maybe a little cheat code if you're hurting at tight end, because they may run him and they still use him in a lot of goal line packages. Now, how often are they going to get to the goal line? Can't tell you, but he's I would not be surprised if he's one of those guys that has like 5 carries for 30 yards and he has 2 touchdowns. And if you need a random tight end, and you know how all these how we talk about tight ends, they're all dart throw, pure luck most of the time.
Yep.
You could do worse. He had 10 carries. He had 10 carries last week with Kamara out. I mean, he only got 17 yards, but he could certainly bust one. Yeah.
I know every time I'm desperate for a tight end, I always look, is Taysom Hill available? Because he might throw one, he might run one. You never know what he's going to do. But compared to some of the stiffs that are usually your desperation tight ends, at least he's live. He makes things happen. So,
yep. The only other 2 names I'm going to give you on the Saints, again, desperate stuff: Devon Vele and Mason Tipton. And these are just if you have nothing and you've got guys out. Again, Olave, if he misses, those guys become possibilities. Juwan Johnson, decent tight end. Again, how it feel about
yeah.
Yep. You give it a shot and you hope he gets in the end zone. Miami side of the ball, coming off a bye week. Everybody healthy that I can think of. Darren Waller might be back.
Yeah,
so he's another one late season. Do you get a late season surge from Darren Waller? Devon A-Chain, you love this matchup for him.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he's unreal. Jalen Waddle, you like, obviously, in this matchup as well. Although he'll probably have that Kool-Aid guy against him.
Yep.
So that's not the greatest matchup. Other than that, there's your guys.
That's it.
I lean Saints because it's just one of those
bigger number.
6 points, and the Saints have been playing okay, and I still don't think the Dolphins are any good. I know they beat the Bills.
They're not good.
That was their Super Bowl.
Yep.
All right. I believe we're getting on to, is this a 4 o'clocker? Let's see. Rams, Panthers. Is that a 4 o'clocker?
I believe it's a 4 o'clock. I could be wrong.
Nice thing is, somehow, you know what's crazy? Well, no, it's a 1 o'clock. No, it's a 1 o'clock. That's our last 1 o'clock. We got 3 4 o'clocks. Man, there's some kind of stinky games.
Yeah, stinky.
Low key, this is a crummy week, man. If you're gonna miss
this is one of the better Sunday games, honestly. And it's not even that good.
But Rams 10-point favorites on the road. I know they're playing incredible. Just blew out the Bucks. Rams. What do you think they're legit? You think they're Super Bowl contenders?
I was on the Rams early. I love the Rams going into the season. I love what Sean McVay does with that offense, and then the defense. That not enough people talk about how good that defense is. They're young and they're cheap, and Jared Verse, and they get to the ball, they make things happen. To me, the Rams are the best team in football right now, and I would have said that before Monday night's game. I definitely believe the Rams are legit. 10 is a huge number. That being said, 10 is a huge number.
That's a big number on the road, especially with the Panthers kind of getting embarrassed against the Niners. And then at home, the Panthers have been pretty solid. Let me take a quick peek. They lost that stinker to the Saints. Oh, my God, what were they doing there? But that's 0-1. They lost to the Bills, 0-2, 1-2, 2-2, 3-2. They're 3-2. They're 3-2 at home. So not bad, and they've got a couple of decent wins. They beat the Cowboys at home, and they blew out the Falcons. So that Bryce Young is so bad.
He's bad.
Oh, my God.
He's bad. 49ers handed him the game 4 times, and he just didn't want to do it. or couldn't do it.
I just don't know how you whiff on a pick so badly in when these guys are paid to do it. And when I saw him, I remember and I know I'm not saying I know everything, but when I saw him, I just said, how are you going to invest and make this giant trade for a guy who looks like he's in middle school? I mean, I'm sorry. You got to have some size in the NFL.
It's tough.
It looks like a little kid out there.
Yeah.
Rams side of the ball, you love all your guys, man. Devontae Adams has been unreal. Puka unreal. Kyron Williams has been solid enough. Matthew Stafford, MVP frontrunner. He's been great. Panthers side of the ball, it's a tough defensive matchup they're going against. You like Tet McMillan. You like Dowdle.
Rico. Yeah.
Other than that, anybody you're really fired up about?
No. Not this week, no.
I don't know, man. Usually, you know me, we get on here and I'm like all fired up and I'm figuring out props and let's look at this guy's number and that guy's number. And I'm just getting like this stinky feeling from some of these ball games this weekend. I don't see anything here. I mean, if I had to, gun to my head, 10 is a lot of points on the road. I would lean Panthers just for the sake of, a home dog, hoping that their defense can show up and keep it close. Like they did against the Niners. I mean, their defense played well. They got to be really, really upset with the offense because the offense left them hanging. But I don't see anything. I mean, that Rams D is good. Rico Dowdle, 61.5 rushing yards. That's intriguing to take the over. But again, that defense has been great.
I can see it being under. Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the Rams are good.
Yeah. On to the 4:00 games. Finally, we got 3 4-o'clockers. Vikings at the Seahawks. Enter Max Brosmer at quarterback with J.J. McCarthy out. Can it get any worse for these Vikings, Jay? Or is Brosmer maybe a ray of hope?
I don't think it can get worse.
That's the thing.
I don't think it can get worse, especially going into Seattle. Going into Seattle with a rookie quarterback that I've never heard of him, and I know most of these guys. I've never heard of him. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good.
And the thing is, it can't be worse, right? Especially when you're seeing all these different stats and whatever come out that are showing that J.J. McCarthy is like the worst quarterback since Jamarcus Russell in a lot of stats. That is not a guy you want to be next to.
It's not good
in stats, you don't want to hit your name next to his on any list, right?
No. And it's what's scary about that too is, a lot of these rookie, like a Bryce Young, even Caleb last year, some of these quarterbacks that you're not sure about, the situation's horrible. You have a great offensive coach in Kevin O'Connell. You have arguably the best receiver in football, a great number 2 receiver, a top 8 tight end and TJ Hawkinson, maybe better. Good line when they're healthy, 2 good running backs, and you're not producing at all. That's the part that's a little unsettled, or a lot, I guess, if you're a Vikings fan. Where are you with JJ McCarthy right now? How do you feel as a Viking fan? I don't know. I have a very good friend who's a Viking fan. We talk about this every week, and he actually texted me last week, man, I miss Sam Darnold. And we were both in agreement before the season. Like, the Vikings did the right thing. You drafted this kid. You're not going to play him if Darnold's there. If you're going to pay Darnold, then you got to move McCarthy, and you don't know what you have. And the fear is, do you move him and he turns out great?
Yeah.
You don't know, but I don't see it. You don't see it. I mean, I know obviously nobody sees it yet. I'm not ready to throw the towel in on McCarthy. I just good pedigree, great coaching all along between Harbaugh and O'Connell. It's got to count somewhere. 6-7 games in. I don't know.
You fell for it.
Fell
6-7.
Always.
Walked right into it.
Walked right into it.
Isn't it crazy how many times you say it now that it's a thing? You don't even realize it. It's like, what?
6 or 7 times a day.
Yeah, it's crazy. So McCarthy, obviously, me as a Giant fan, that draft, we were looking into quarterbacks. I wanted Drake May. I was Drake May all the way, blah, blah, blah. But once those guys, I was praying we didn't take McCarthy or Penix.
Yeah.
I really was.
I agree.
Not that I don't think they can play, but I just didn't see that franchise quarterback out of them. Whereas I thought Malik Neighbors was generational, and I still think he is. And I think when he comes back, he's going to prove that to everybody. So wasn't a big JJ guy, but I didn't expect this bad.
No, this is bad. I thought he at least could fake it.
Passes.
Yep.
Sailing.
I thought he'd be able to fake it if nothing else. With that
Right.
team around him, that they'd be competitive. And man, he has been awful. But
And like you said, around a great environment. It's not like he's Cam Ward on the Titans,
yeah,
where he's got nothing to work
correct.
with, and
Right.
coaching change. He's got a great coach, a quarterback whisperer, so to speak, and they just can't get anything going. On the Seahawks side of the ball, fantastic, right? And again, go back to fantasy wise. I mean, is there a bigger bust in the first round than Justin Jefferson? He's up there, and it's not his fault. No,
I mean,
nobody's
there's a
saying it.
few.
Yeah,
There's a few this year. This
yeah,
is one of those years. Saquon and there's some
yep,
other guys too that you could really look at and like,
yep.
oh, and
I know.
I took both of those guys in a league or two.
Yeah,
So,
and
but
Addison, you can't really, kind of have to play him if you got him, but
you got to.
not
I
with
mean,
this rookie. I mean, I'm playing a lot of guys over Addison this week. I'm
yeah,
playing a ton of. I mean,
yeah,
I'd probably play Greg Dortch,
yeah.
Dortch
He scored last
somebody,
week. Greg
yeah,
Dortch. Yeah,
Trey Tucker or somebody on the
yeah.
Raiders or whatever, because it's just how much passing is there really going to be
Yeah.
with this kid in there?
You might get a garbage touchdown and be like, oh, I should have played him, but it's going to be garbage time. It's not going to be early in the game where it was like that you can really question yourself. It's all garbage at that point.
And now we go to the Seahawks side of the ball. Kenneth Walker is going to play. Obviously, Darnold's been having a really solid season. You are playing, obviously, Jackson Smith and Jigba. And you don't play Dynasty, okay?
Right.
As of yet, we're going to get you in there. But if you had to pick your number one Dynasty wide receiver, are you going? I mean, I've been making the argument that JSN's got to be in the conversation.
It's got to be. Got to be.
I mean,
When you watch Joe Burrow yesterday throwing a Chase, it'd be awfully hard to not take Chase still.
yeah.
But yeah, JSN's a 2, 3 maybe. I mean, not much lower than that.
Yeah, and I'm going on
I
this
take him over
main
Justin
Dynasty.
Jefferson. You take him over Jefferson right now, and you wouldn't have said
Absolutely.
if you said that in July, people would have laughed you out of the room. It's amazing what a season. And I think we talked about this. Maybe it wasn't on here, but I remember talking to you pre-draft, and so many of the experts were down on JSN. Like, he's just a
Crazy.
possession guy. And then you look at what he's done this year, and it's like anybody can be an expert.
Yeah, and people were nervous about Darnold. Okay,
Right.
Was Darnold just a product of Minnesota, or is he going to go back to being Sam Darnold again? So there were some question
Yeah,
marks around him. Was
legitimate
Cooper
question
Kupp
mark.
going to
Sure.
eat into him? So he had a lot of
No
question marks.
Metcalf. Metcalf's not there to draw attention. Now
Right.
he's the one. Does that work? And yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. Yeah.
Whereas Chase and Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb and Puka, you kind of knew what you were getting with those guys,
Right.
right? So that's why he got suppressed down there. But the guy's unreal. And actually, on the site that I use, it's kind of a popular site. Some people rag on it, whatever. But it's called Keep Trade Cut, and it's a Dynasty website. They have moved him to the number one receiver in
Wow.
Dynasty.
Yeah.
They have
That's
Chase too. Now the
wild.
big difference is Jackson Smith and Jigba's, almost 24, and Chase is going to be 26 soon. So he's got 2 years on him,
2
right?
years.
So
Right. You got time.
dynasty wise,
Yeah.
that comes into the equation.
But Chase gets nicked, and so does Burrow. So maybe that moves. Maybe that's why the JSN
Yeah.
slides ahead.
Yep. So they have JSN number 1, Chase number 2, Puka number 3, Neighbors number 4, even with the injury coming back. Amon-Ra 5, CeeDee Lamb 6, Justin Jefferson 7, Drake London 8, Egbuka 9, and Rashee Rice 10. I mean, you got any issues with any of that? I know it's hard to say when you can't see the list right in front of you.
That's pretty close. I mean, I think I'm higher on Rice than most people, but I mean, I love what Rice does in Kansas City.
Yeah.
But he's not quite as explosive as the rest of those guys. So 10's probably right. I mean, he's just one of those guys that picks away at you and eventually scores a couple touchdowns. But yeah,
And
no, that's
Roma
probably pretty
Dunze.
close.
Roma Dunze's 14.
All right.
I don't know,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's a true number one. I don't know if he has that ceiling.
I don't know if he's a true number one. I said that even when he was rolling. I think he's like that next tier. He's not gonna ever be like Jefferson and Chase and JSN, but is he that next tier with like the AJ Browns and that kind of player? I think that's kind of where he in reality where he lives. That not quite a top guy, but that somewhere between 6 and 14, somewhere in that range, or 8 and 16, or somewhere in that range.
Yep. I don't disagree. I don't see alpha dog, you know,
No.
guy, but like you said, I could see Luther Burden end up taking over that whole thing in a year. You know, if he progresses and keeps his head screwed on straight, a little bit of a he had some character issues coming out of
Yeah.
college, but I think if he gets his head screwed on straight, because he's got that after the catch ability. That's the
Yes.
big thing. He's got
Yes.
that I can catch a 15-yard slant, take it to the house type of thing that I haven't really seen from Odunze
Right.
yet.
Yeah, he seems to have a bigger root tree. You know, he gets inside, he plays in the slot a little bit and roams pretty
Hmm.
much just on the perimeter going deep and some deep crosses where Luther's everywhere. So
Oh, and by the way, Jay, I do win our bet. We didn't really have a bet, but we did talk about it.
you did.
Shador Sanders getting his
I knew you
second
were gonna say
start this week. I totally
cheers to
forgot.
you.
Yeah, there we
Shador.
go. Shador's getting his second start. We had talked about that about 3 weeks ago. I thought we put an over under 1.5 starts. I think he starts the rest of the year if he
Why
plays okay.
not? Why
I,
not? Yeah,
you
barring
got to bet on what
injury
you
or
got.
like a complete disaster, absolutely. He's got some life. He could
Yep.
throw the ball and he can get it downfield a little bit. And
Yep.
it seems like
And,
that. You know what you could tell? You could tell when a team is excited when you look at the defense, when they flash the defense. And when he made that throw last week on the roll, and he bombed the
the
throw
whole
down the
sideline
field.
went nuts.
And Miles Garrett's face, they call Miles Garrett, and it's like you could almost see him saying, "Thank God somebody can get the ball downfield,"
Yeah.
because you could see it, and
Oh, for sure.
that speaks volumes when you see that. You know, all right, he might not be great, he might not be the guy you want in 5 years, but
Hmm.
for right now for the Browns, that's as good as he's better than
Yeah.
anything else they've rolled out this year.
You got to roll them out there. Let's see, Raiders and the Chargers. Kind of an ugly one here for the Raiders are just god awful. My goodness, they
Awful,
get rid of Chip Kelly.
awful.
Genti had a nice little game. He was catching a lot of little dump offs and stuff. So if they're going to use him there, at least he'll be useful for fantasy. Bowers has been disappointing, but I put that more on Geno.
Yes,
And I know our guest Richie Yamaguchi kept saying, all he kept saying was the O line, the O line, the O line, and I get it. It's awful. It's a horrible offensive line. But Geno's doing nothing with it. You got to have an internal clock in your head, and you've got Brock Bowers, and you got Ashton Genti out of the backfield. Just keep dumping it off. Do something.
Mhm.
I can't believe they're still rolling Geno out there. I'm not. I think somebody else is getting a couple starts at the end of the year. I think maybe give Pickett a shot, something, whether it's injury, a soft benching or whatever. But
Mm.
why would you not want to see what you got with some of these other guys when Geno just looks terrible?
I,
Oh my
I
God, he looks bad.
I think because they know what they got. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
I mean, Kenny Pickett's not moving the needle. I'm afraid, and there's not much there. It's amazing how the Raiders and Dolphins just all like those teams just always seem stuck in this cycle of
Hmm.
just. I mean, the Raiders are awful this year, but not bad enough to be really bad, but not good at all, and it's just
Yeah. Now
stuck.
it's a down quarterback class, right?
Yeah,
Not,
yeah.
but and that could change if a couple guys declare. But now you got to spend your draft. You pay Geno. You need offensive line terribly, and you're going to have to go and spend on a quarterback. It seems like, or do you ride it out one more year to where 2027 looks like the great quarterback class? I mean,
Mhm.
that's big decisions they got to make, but not good in Raiderland. You're obviously got to pay Bowers. You got to play Genti. Trey Tucker's intriguing
Mhm.
as their number one receiver. Other than that, forget about it. And go and add a Chargers team that's off a bye, off a terrible loss. Wasn't there a previous game a terrible loss to the
Yeah, it was the
Jags?
Jags, right?
Oh,
35-6 or something awful. Yeah, down in
not a good
Jacksonville.
spot for the Raiders.
Yeah, Chargers needed to buy about as bad as any team needed to buy. Kind of like the
And now,
49ers, like
mhm,
they just kind of need that break to get healthy. They were dinged up bad. Um, they're not that bad. They're
no,
not. They're not what we saw in Jacksonville.
still no Marion Hampton. So Hampton's still not back. He had limited practices. So Kamani Vidal is a great play if you need to, because obviously the Raiders' bad defense. But I think Herbert has himself a day. That Raiders secondary is terrible. They let the Cowboys throw all over them. Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnson, Keenan Allen. Obviously, Ladd's your favorite. Aronde Gadsden, I think, could have a big week. The tight end, the rookie. I think you see a big week from Herbert. And where do they stand? Where do they stand in the standings in the AFC West? Obviously, the Broncos are leading. I got to look at these standings myself here. Let's look at these AFC standings. And let's just talk about how weak the AFC is compared to the NFC.
Yeah.
I mean,
The quarterback injuries
really
have
weak.
changed everything. The Chiefs being way, way down is
The
I
Ravens
mean
being way, way down.
Ravens look terrible. Yeah. I mean
Bills not looking very good.
no. And then
Chargers are
the
7-4, and they have the 5th wild card. So it's Chargers, Jags, Bills right now for the wild card, all at 7-4. Texans at 6-5. Uh, but think about it, right? If you just go toe for toe, right, blow for blow. If we go NFC, let me see here. If you go number 1 in the NFC, Rams,
right
and number 1 in the NFC and the AFC, Patriots. Who do you like in that?
Rams.
I'm taking Rams. Number
Taking
2 is
Rams.
Broncos. Number 2 in the NFC is Bears. You guys are number 2 in the NFC. I can see Did you play the Broncos this year?
Do not. No.
Do not. Okay. But then after that, your number 3 team is the Colts,
Yeah.
who are starting to fall apart. Your
Uh,
number 4 team is the Steelers.
ugh.
Then you got the Chargers, who have their flaws. You got the
Yep.
Jags and the Bills. I mean, the AFC is
I love the
wide
7
open.
seed. Give me that 7 seed. All give me those Buffalo Bills.
I mean, come on, Josh Allen. If it's not going to happen. Now, do you feel, I don't know if you saw this. Of course, I saw it because my wife watches these Hallmark movies.
Of course.
There is a
Oh,
Buffalo Bills Hallmark movie.
I haven't seen it, but I did see that they made a Chiefs
No,
one
yeah, I
last year.
haven't
It's the
seen it either,
Bills
but I
this
saw
year,
that
right?
being made.
Yes.
Are they a team of destiny to come on late?
I mean,
Almost like, they made the movie Fever Pitch for the Red Sox, and it happened to be the same year that they had the thing.
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe there's some. I mean, if you can't get out of the AFC this year at Buffalo,
Yeah.
are you ever getting out of there? It's so weak. Everybody's down.
And that's going to be, I think we talked about this last time I was on, was what happens with McDermott at the end of the year. And if the Bills don't make it out this year, that for no other reason, with all these other teams down, and you've just wasted 7 years of Josh Allen to go nowhere. It's only going to get, Lamar's going to be healthy next year, I think. You get Drake May another year, the Patriots get a little better, the Chargers it's now or never for the Bills.
Yeah. Now, this is going to be interesting. Who do you think is the betting? Now, they're all very close. Who do you think is the betting favorite to win the AFC? To represent them in the Super Bowl.
The Buffalo Bills. No,
They're close. Believe it or not, it's
Pats.
the Colts.
See, I have zero faith. Even before the Daniel Jones injuries, zero. I didn't buy the Colts. I don't buy the Colts. I don't buy the Seahawks. And I was going to touch on it. I don't buy the Seahawks. Donald in a big game is horrific. Anybody else? Look what he did against the Rams last week. 4 picks against the Rams. It's awful. Or 2 weeks ago, whenever that game was. But
that's insane that it's the Colts. I mean,
yeah, that's
Colts,
crazy.
Broncos, Pats, Bills are all really close. It's plus 450, plus 475, plus 475, and plus 500. But I think the Bills is a live one.
I mean,
plus 500.
And the Broncos, I gotta see. I'm not quite sold, and I'm not, as a Bears fan, I'm not quite sold on the Bears. They're the same team. Broncos, Bears to me are very, very similar. Where the quarterback show flashes, good running game, good coaching, good and ascending defenses. But I just think they're a year or two away from really being a threat.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's just wild that how it's flipped, because the last handful of years it's been the AFC has been loaded
dominant.
with
Yeah.
Burrow, Mahomes, Allen, Lamar. Just those 4 right there has been just off the charts. And now all of a sudden, boom, it flips real quick. And now the NFC looks really good, and the AFC is kind of weak. All right, a Dustino special. I take when Mike Tomlin's an underdog. I take him, especially when he's a home underdog.
At home,
I'm taking Mike Tomlin and those Pittsburgh Steelers against the Bills that I just said I wouldn't mind betting on. Plus 500, I think, is really good to take them to win the AFC. But I'm getting a field goal, and I think it's going to be an ugly game, cold, nasty. This is the Steelers type of game. Motivation. Now, if you need any extra motivation, watching the Ravens lose. Really, I mean, I know it's a big game already, but this is kind of the marquee game of the 4 o'clocks. We could, with Chargers playing the Raiders and Seahawks playing the Vikings, all eyeballs are going to be on this game. Those 2 games may be complete stinkers. What do you think? Aaron Rodgers is playing against a soft defense. Steelers, Bills. Give me your quick thoughts before we get into the fantasy stuff.
Tomlin is tough. Like you said, Tomlin as a dog is tough. I find it hard. I think this is a Bills game right here. The pressure's on. It's time for the Bills to make something happen. Rodgers a little dinged up. I would take I'm going Bills plus. I'll take I will lay the points for the Bills.
Is this the first game after the Dolphin game? Or no? No, they lost to Houston again.
No, they lost. Yeah.
Oh, they lost.
Right.
They played 3 games since then.
They played a
Jeez.
few. Yeah.
Where am I at? That one just sticks out so fresh in my mind.
Right.
Yeah, so they beat the Bucs, in a wild up and down game. Then they lost to the Texans, that hard fought game against the Texans. So
Steelers,
extra rest too for the Bills.
Right. Steelers coming off a loss against my Bears last week. That they came back. They hung in there with Mason Rudolph. Defensively, played great in the first half and kind of fell apart second half. TJ Watt was a ghost in the second half after he passed his brother on the sack list.
Mm-hmm.
Running game looked good. They just didn't really stick to it. Rodgers obviously a huge upgrade over Mason Rudolph. I mean, the guy couldn't get the ball 8 yards downfield, thankfully for the Bears. But yeah, I'm not a big Steeler. I don't like the Steelers. I would go Bills here.
Gotcha. All right, for Buffalo, what do we got? Is Brandon Cooks they bring in off the scrap heap? Still keep trying to find that receiver.
Yeah, gotta find somebody.
You gotta find somebody.
Chuck it down there somewhere. Yeah.
Kincaid, I think, is taking one more week off. They said he's questionable. He's been limited all week, though. I think he's off. James Cook, you like. Obviously, you're looking for Josh Allen to have a huge day. The other guys, Josh Palmer, Keon Coleman, we'll see if he even suits up. Here's another guy. He's been inactive the last 2 weeks. He's fallen off the face of the planet. Really, they thought he could have a chance to step up and be the number one. That has not panned out whatsoever. On the Steelers side of the ball, you got Rodgers, which is good for DK Metcalf. But other than that, I mean, you're playing Jalen Warren. I guess, it's a soft Bills defense. So you'd think Warren and Gainwell have a good chance to play well. But other than that, I mean, this just seems – even this 46 in this game seems like an under game to me. And there's certainly no other pass catchers other than DK Metcalf you feel comfortable with. No. Those tight ends are a hodgepodge. There's 3 of them. You don't know who's going to get the ball. And they have no number 2. So kind of an ugly game. Metcalf did have an ankle. Yeah. I think, it's Jalen Warren. You're excited to play him. And I guess DK Metcalf.
Yeah. Yeah. And Gainwell ran well. Gainwell played well last week in relief. So
he's
a little bit of life in those. Yeah. The running backs have some juice.
Yep. I think it's going to be an ugly game. I think this is one of those games, very simple. And I don't do a lot of these same game parlays or whatever. I'm not a big parlay guy. I think it's hard enough to win one game.
Right.
But I think this game is completely what you bet is completely down. So if you like Bills, I think you take the over all day long because they're going to have to score. And if you like Steelers, you're rooting for them to muck the game up and have it be ugly. I think you take the under. Right. I think if you're going to bet the Steelers, you might as well bet the under with it. And if you're going to take the Bills, you take the over with it.
Good point.
To me, what I see when I start looking and thinking about this game. All right, Sunday Night Football. This one probably looked a lot better before the season started. I think this is before they start flexing the games. I think next week is when they start flexing maybe. Because this it's not a stinker. I mean, there's some intrigue. Commanders coming off a bye. Broncos also coming off a bye, I believe. Yes, they are coming off a bye. So 2 teams off bye, should be fired up. Broncos want that number 1 seed in home field. Everybody's kind of, obviously J.K. Dobbins been gone for a little bit. R.J. Harvey, I think, is a nice play. I want to look at that one. I haven't looked at any props really tonight.
You have not? No, it's been a lot of slop today.
It's sloppy games. I liked a bunch of props over the weekend, over Thursday and today with A.J. Brown hitting for us. Roma Dunze didn't hit for us. I like this R.J. Harvey. Commander soft defense, Cortland Sutton, Troy Franklin, Evan Engram's been very, very disappointing. The Broncos kind of spread the ball around a little bit. But I think this Harvey is due to have a breakout game, sort of like a Travion Henderson. You've been waiting for it. And this is a great spot. That Commander's defense is
not good.
Not good at all. Let's take a quick peek. 49.5 rush yards. He catches a lot of passes. I wonder what the total yardage is. I bet you he's right around 70 total yards. Let me see. Hang on. See if we can get a rush and receiving thing. 72.5. I think I like the rush yards.
Mm.
I think I might
over
take
50.
him.
Yeah.
I think I might take him to get to 65 and get plus money. I don't know. What do you think? You
It's
think
pretty
that's got a
solid.
chance?
I think that's got a chance.
They should be playing from ahead. Who
You
else
would
they
think.
got?
Yeah,
It's
you
like
would think.
Jaleel McLaughlin is like some scat back.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's going to get the bulk of the carries. This is double your money, plus 200. I like it.
I like it.
They should be ahead. Terrible defense. I mean, I got to figure he's getting 15 carries.
I would think so. Especially, they should be a positive game script the whole time. Yeah, you would think.
That's what I'm saying. Let's
Round
see what his
him out.
carries are. He's over under his 14.5 carries.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
right on the
15
money.
carries for 65 yards.
Not asking a lot.
Not asking a lot. There we go. We got our first prop of the night. RJ Harvey over 64.5. Alternate line, it's plus 200. So double your money. Put up 20, you get back 60. We love it. I like that a lot. I like the pass catchers there. I mean, I've been waiting for what I might get involved on these Broncos here. I got to look at the weather here in Washington Sunday night. But I've been waiting for like a Cortland Sutton game. He hasn't really had a game yet. His over-under is 54.5. Terry McLaurin is back for the Commanders. It's Marcus Mariota. As far as running backs for the Commanders, Chris Rodriguez is going to be the starter. He's interesting.
He's taken over. Yeah, he is taking over
He's
there
an
for
interesting player if you're desperate at running back, like I am in a couple leagues. I have a couple Chris Rodriguez. His over-under for rush yards is 41.5, so he's supposed to get the most out of all their guys. And then that Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt is 23.5. I don't know. Tough to go with McLaurin first game back.
Tough. All right. Mariota, not Daniels. Yeah, that's a
little. I mean, Debo and McLaurin, if you have them, maybe you play them. Zach Ertz. You know what I mean? I remember way back in the day. Now we're aging ourselves. Mariota used to throw a lot to it. What was it? Delaney Walker?
Yeah, Delaney.
Was it Delaney Walker on the Titans?
Delaney Walker,
he
yes.
He likes to throw to the tight end.
Yeah. Ertz has been good this year. Ertz has been pretty good this year.
All right, what did he do their last game? I gotta see. Let's see. What did Ertz do their last game that they played? So they were on bye. So what did they do week 11? They played the Dolphins. They lost that overtime game, 16-13. That was an ugly game.
I think Ertz scored in that game.
I'm
pretty sure Ertz scored in that game.
Zach Ertz, 4 for 42, didn't score.
Okay. Maybe
8 targets. What do you think Zach Ertz over-under is on receiving yards?
41.5.
Let's see. I'm going to look at it. Receiving. 34.5.
Oh, that's low.
What do you think, Jay?
Yeah, I kind of like Ertz with the over there.
And his catches is over 3.5.
I mean, if you're going to go over on the receiving, it's going to take more than 3 catches. So,
yeah, no kidding. Can you parlay those ones together? Let me see. Ertz and Ertz. You can. It doesn't really give you much of a good line. They go
hand in hand. Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of bone you because they know it goes hand in hand. Which one you like more, the yardage or the catches?
Catches.
That's what I thought. He's not like he's getting slow. He's getting old.
Catches.
He's not like a deep play guy. All right, there we go. We're going Zach Ertz. Over 3.5 catches. It's minus 125. That's okay. Over 3.5 Ertz catches. I love it. Minus 125. All right, there we go. We're in. As far as the game goes, anything stands out to you? Commanders have been getting blown out by people.
Yeah.
They seem like a team that's kind of packed it in a little.
Yep, they've kind of given up.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of
injuries. Yeah, it's hard. It seems like every time you watch, it's a different set of guys out there. So hard to be fired up when you're playing with all new guys every week.
Yeah, I mean, just look at their they lost that Dolphins game in OT. Prior to that, they got beat by 22, 24, 21, and 22. I mean, they've been getting blown out.
Not what the Washington fans thought this year. Coming off that run last year, and what a disappointment.
Yeah, just everything seemed to bounce their way last year, including the game against your Bears with the Hail Mary. And Everything went their
that's.
way.
I think they were like 8-1 in one score games, and
Yeah, crazy.
it's pretty soft. It's a lot of soft schedule, or for NFL schedule being soft, it was a soft schedule, and yeah, they caught teams at the right time and had a great year.
Absolutely. All right. And then Monday Night Football,
Oh
my
boy,
New York Football Giants at the Patriots, a team that we own, both Super Bowls. I had to bring that up.
had
Had to
to,
bring that
had to.
up. We got Jackson Dart back at the helm. Okay. I'm going to give you my 2 cents on last week's game very quickly. I like what Kafka did. I like that he was aggressive. I like that he went for it. I know you're going to go up 6. There's not a shot in hell that the Lions weren't going to go get a touchdown and win the game if we were up 6. So I like trying to control it with the ball in your hands. I like what Kafka's doing. I like him getting rid of the defensive coordinator. I've been calling for it for 6, 7, 8 weeks. Oh, there we go, 6, 7. I've been calling for it for a bunch of weeks. I think Kafka has a chance if they play well down the stretch, win 2 or 3 games. The schedule gets soft after this one. I think he's one of those rare interims that has a chance. What do you think?
It's so rare.
I know it.
It's like, I remember listening to Colin Coward a couple weeks ago, and he said, basically, this is what's going to happen. Kafka is like a likable guy, offensive mind. He's going to do some things that they're going to like, and you're going to hear, oh, maybe he should stay. It never works. Antonio Pierce doesn't work. It never works. So
now I like
hard
that
to
I've seen
say.
some balls firing the defensive coordinator though.
I like that. I do like that. I do like the guts he
And the
showed last week.
creativity. I mean,
Playing with nothing to lose.
They were beating the Lions at their own game with the trick plays, the Jameis play,
The
the
Jameis
other
play
one
was
where
amazing.
they did, and they threw the bomb to Wandale early in the game. I mean, they were beating the Lions at their own game.
They were, but you can do that when you don't have much to lose. Like you let it rip. You have nowhere to go but up at that point. So, do you consider him? You bring in a few guys. I don't think you just say at the end of the year you're gone, but you make him part of the interview process. See what else is out there. I mean, you'd be kind of doing a disservice by not doing that if you're the Giants. I feel. And then
for sure. You got to do your due diligence.
Your young guys, what does Dart think? What does Neighbor? Get these guys involved, and you kind of got to see where you have what looks like a quarterback. You have to make sure you get this next coach right.
Yeah. They did seem like the whole team was energized with Kafka at the helm. They were playing really hard. I liked what I saw. I like what I saw in the press conferences. Obviously, you got to do your due diligence. If Shane is gone, which I think they're going to keep Shane, if Shane is gone, then obviously he's not getting a job. But I think if they keep Shane, I think he's got an outside chance because Kafka's kind of highly regarded around the league as a pretty good young offensive mind. And what's the hot thing in the league right now? Finding those next young offensive minded coaches. So I think these last 5 games are going to be absolutely huge. And look at the schedule after the Patriots, right? Obviously, Patriots tough game, but we've been in every game. The Giants have been in every game just about. They get Commanders at home, Vikings at home, at the Raiders, home for the Cowboys. I mean, there's a world they go 3-1.
3 wins. Yeah, should be 3-1. Should.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. So I think a strong finish. They got a chance. Jackson Dart's back. What do you think about this? And this is what I've been touting the last couple of weeks, that I think, obviously a lot of trade deadlines have passed. I think Tyrone Tracy has league-winning potential down the stretch with that playoff schedule.
With that soft schedule, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, come on. Home against the Commanders, home against Vikings, at Raiders, and he's getting fed. And they won't want to run Dart that much.
Right. You can't run Dart anymore. You have to stop running Dart. you have to.
Calm down with that. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Patriots side. Oh, actually, let's stick with the Giants for a second. Receivers, Theo Johnson, Wandale has been having a great season. What an underrated player.
Yep.
I hope they bring him back. He's a perfect complement to Neighbors. Other than that, you've got Isaiah Hodgins and Slayton. Theo Johnson's a pretty good tight end.
Yeah,
he's having an okay year.
Yep.
Pat's side of the ball, our defense has been awful. Although new coordinator could change things, but against the run, I think Travion Henderson goes nuts.
Yeah, as long as they don't mix in too much Ramondre.
Yeah, he'll get some carries, just enough to fumble once or twice.
Yeah, just enough, hopefully. And then they don't use him anymore as a Henderson owner.
And then you
Yep.
got Drake May. Let's see.
Yep.
Let's check the weather. What's the weather going to be up there on Monday night? And then you got
Monday's
Drake May,
okay. Monday I think is
Stephon
okay.
Diggs, Booty,
Tuesday night's a little sloppy, but Monday I think is going to be okay.
Foxborough, Mass. Let me see here. Foxborough. Hunter Henry is probably a great play because we are awful against tight ends.
He
The
just had
Giants
a
have been
monster
awful
game.
against tight ends as far back as I can remember. Monday night, 41 degrees.
Yeah, so not
But
awful.
you know,
Both teams are used
yeah,
to it. Yeah, both teams are used
yeah,
to it. Not a
cold
big
weather,
deal.
but no wind, no crazy wind, no rain, no
nothing
snow.
crazy Monday. Tuesday night up here is questionable.
Yep. Let's see. Travion Henderson. I like Diggs. You know, you're firing up those guys.
Yeah,
You're firing up your usual suspects. I want to see Tracy's number. And I know the Pats D. However, the Pats D has been getting a little bit softer the last few weeks. And now what do you make of the Giants? Okay, for all of our defensive woes, we get after the quarterback, and now your left tackle and your left guard are out for the Pats. What's the story with that Will Campbell? Any idea how long he's out?
A few weeks at least.
Okay.
If not, I think they IR'd him, right? So I think a minimum of 4. I can look, but I'm pretty sure. Let me just double check that.
Tyrone Tracy. What do you got his over under rush yards?
Tyrone Tracy.
48.5.
46.5. Well,
I kind of like it.
So Campbell is on IR and he is out till week 18.
Oof. They're going to need him for the playoffs.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, that's tough.
Now, they did allow, I don't know. I feel like the Patriots defense has gotten a little bit softer, and the Giants O-line is coming together, and they're pounding the heck out of the ball. I like this over. I like Tracy's over.
The Pats haven't given up a 50-yard rusher all season. I think that the last 3 or 4 weeks, they've all gone over 50.
Yeah, Chase Brown got it. Breece Hall just missed it. The week before they got it. I'm taking Tracy over 46.5. Over 4. I don't think they want to run Dart. I think they want to run the ball.
You gotta protect Dart.
Okay, there we go. I love it. Anything you like in this 7, this 46.5? Giants have been a sneaky over team all year.
This game could creep up over for sure.
Yeah, they've been able to score, but they haven't been able to play much defense. So, obviously, you know, I've actually, believe it or not, I have not made the Giants a best bet in like the last 4 or 5 weeks, because I've just been like getting off them because I've been so disgusted by some of the losses, and they've been covering left and right.
Yeah,
they got to be one of the best teams against the spread in the NFL.
Yeah,
I want to look that up. Let's see, NFL team. Let's play a little guessing game. You okay if we go another 5-10 minutes?
I'm here all night, pal.
Records. I want to see. We're gonna quiz you a little bit. Let's see who you think the best teams are against the spread this year. And listen, if you get anybody in the top, now I'll give you the best team. Oh, come on. Don't tell me it's one of these sites that you get to look at for 2 seconds and they want you to pay. No, they got a million pop-ups. There's 2 teams 3-8 against the spread. There's 2 teams 8-3, and then there's a gazillion that live kind of in the middle. Any guesses on who the two? Man. There's 2 8-3s and an 8-4 against the spread. How about I give you this?
Give me a conference.
1, 2, 3. The top 5 teams against the spread. You got 2 8-3s, an 8-4, a 7-4-1, a 6-3-2, and a 6-4. And a 7-4-1. All 5 are playoff teams.
All right, I was gonna say, let's go. Rams have to be one.
Rams are 8-3. They're the best. They're tied for first best against the spread.
Pats.
The Pats are 7-4-1. They're number 5 against the spread.
Okay. What's the playoff team? Colts.
The Colts are 6-3-2. They're number 4 against the spread. You're doing well.
Yeah, I'm doing all right for a guy who doesn't gamble.
You got 2 more up there.
Let's see.
Listen, I would have struggled.
Seahawks.
Seahawks are tied at 8-3 with the Rams.
And then let's go Bears, because they keep beating teams that they shouldn't beat.
Dude, that is pretty impressive. The Bears are 8-4 against the spread.
I mean, today was the day.
Nailed the top 5. You did a real fast.
There you
Pretty
go.
good. The Giants, though, are right in there. Giants are 7-5 against the spread.
That's pretty good.
You're not. Here's your worst team that's good against the spread. Well, the Giants, 6-4-1 for the Jets. That's an interesting one. Miami, 6-5.
The bottom's got to be like Buffalo and Baltimore, all those playoff teams. The Chiefs that just don't. It's got to be those guys, right? I mean,
KC's 5-6-1 against the number.
Okay.
Baltimore's 4-8. They're third from worst.
Yeah, so that's
New Orleans is 3-8, and the Commanders are 3-8.
Okay. Well,
they thought people thought the Commanders weren't going to be good.
Commanders were heavy favorites early in the season, so
Yes.
that makes sense. They probably lost 3 or 4 early.
Minnesota's 4-7, and the Raiders are 4-7. Those are your bottom 5. Raiders, Vikings, Baltimore, New Orleans, Washington. Now, interesting, your best team record-wise that's not good against the spread is the Chargers, 4-6-1. So, again, not living up to the hype. They're always a little overhyped.
They're one of those weird teams. Like the Jags blow them out, and then they'll go pound Kansas City next week. It's one of those. They're one of those teams,
But you got so you have what's in the league? 32 teams.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 teams live either 7-5 through 5-7. So again, it's a 50-50. You can't just bet it. That's what made it really special. There was one year with the Pats when they were just destroying everybody, that they were like 14-2 or something against the spread. That's pretty rare because usually the numbers catch up with you, right? And look what we're seeing. We're seeing the Seattle being favored by 12 now, against the Vikings. You're seeing the Rams -10 on the road.
Yeah, right. Huge numbers.
So, people, Vegas isn't stupid, right? They catch on to those things and they start changing those numbers. So I don't know. I thought that was kind of interesting. That the Giants are 7-5 against the spread. Pats are 7-4-1. So 2 good teams against the spread. And there you have it. All right, man. I think we covered all the games. We've got our plays. Let's go with our official plays. I'm going to see if we add anything. You got anything you like? Any plays that you saw or, something that you saw?
No, this is one sloppy week. It is. The first 4 games, like you said, were awesome. And now it's just like, I don't even know if I'll turn the TV on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple intriguing ones, but I don't think they're that exciting. Like,
no.
The Cardinals box and the 49ers Browns.
No.
I mean, the Texans Colts a big game, but that's going to be an ugly game. And then it's Bills Steelers.
Yeah.
It's pretty ugly.
A lot of ugly.
Pretty ugly week number 13. So here's our official plays. And now stay tuned. Obviously, we'll give you some short videos throughout the weekend. If we have anything that we add on, if we see something we like that we add. But for now, and this is crazy because the last couple of weeks I've gone berserk and gave out way, way too many, although we've done okay. I've only got 6 plays that we figured out. So here's our official 6 plays before we hit the road on this beautiful Friday night. We got the Cleveland Browns +4.5 at home against the 49ers. Nasty, cold, ugly game. 49ers banged up. Purdy with a weak arm in the wind. Looking ahead to their bye week. We like that. We like under 44.5 in the Colts-Texans game. 17-13, 19-16 type of game. Both teams do not want their quarterbacks to throw a ton. Both teams want to play ball control, run the ball. Both teams very happy with a low-scoring game. Pittsburgh Steelers +3 against the Bills. Jay doesn't love it. I like it. I don't love it. I like the other 2 much better, but I'm taking Tomlin as a dog +3. I think worst case we're getting a push there. I can see the Steelers keeping it close.
I can see a push.
We love this one, and we're getting double our money. RJ Harvey over 64.5 rush yards against the soft Commanders defense. We think he's going to get 15, 16 carries. He's only got to get 5 yards a carry. We think he could bust one. Over 64.5 is +200. We got over 3.5 catches for Zach Ertz in the same game. We think that Mariota loves the tight end. Zach Ertz, why not, right? Especially when you got Surtain on the outside. Do you think Mariota wants to go up against Surtain or get some soft passes to Ertz? And then Tyrone Tracy, our proclaimed league winner, over 46.5 rush yards against the Patriots on Monday night. Jay, anything else you want to add, say to the people out there before we?
No, happy Thanksgiving. Go Bears.
All right. Hey, there
9
you
and
have
3,
it.
buddy.
Bears are what, 8-3, 9-3?
9 and 3.
Second place in the NFC. Jay is on
Potential.
here, smiling from ear to ear.
I
Enjoy
know.
the rest of your weekend. Talk some trash to people. Who you got next week? Packers?
Yes, in Green Bay
Big
next
game.
week. Monster
Wow.
game.
We might have to bring you on to preview that next week if you don't have anything going on.
We'll do
one.
the Caleb game next week. I got the Caleb game. I want to see where you put him. I got all the quarterbacks listed. We're gonna find out
Really? Okay.
where he stands. We can do it now, or we can do it next week. Wherever
Let's
you
do
want
it
to
next week. Let's do it next
Next
week.
week.
Let's add it to next week's show.
Let's do it.
I still got family over and all that
yeah.
stuff. I had to work. I got to work tomorrow. Nobody wants to hear me cry.
Man.
But yeah, let's do it. Let's do it next week.
Sounds good.
And you're talking like from a dynasty perspective, like long term, or just
Both.
like who would,
let's see.
who would I rather have if I was
yeah, right. If I'm picking today, where are we drawing the line?
I
want to see where he lands. I'm interested to get your opinion on that one.
All right, love it. Hey, everybody out there, make sure you like and subscribe. Thanks for joining us. Not a lot of action in the chat today, but that's all right. We had plenty to say on our own. Come back and rewatch the show and stay tuned. We appreciate you. Have a happy rest of your Thanksgiving weekend. Stay safe out there. We will talk to you soon. See you, Jay.
Cheers.